Lord forgive me for this trap shit. Sergeant Smack making backflip. Telly Hank with the action. With the vital speaking Spanish. Frank Matthews, how I vanish. Poof. Came back like I'm King Tut. Gold BBS is on a beamer. When Fat Cat was 10 queens up. Ball off the profit, not the re-up. Fly like Puerto Rican Jesus. Uptown like I'm Baby May. Just caught a touchdown from the Bay.
You make a move to Kansas to get out of California. You get to Boston. September 24th, 2000.
Never forget that day.
Stabbed 8 times, nearly die.
Erupts into gunfire on busy Route 3 in Duxbury. A rap artist suddenly a target.
It just happened so fast, and I looked up and my clothes were ripped. I had blood coming down my face. That's the first thing I remember.
But that was crazy because they said, y'all should have killed Ray.
Yeah.
That's what the police
Told us we should have killed Ray.
Benzino?
Nobody killed Ray? Y'all should have killed Ray.
They was on that.
That was fucking crazy.
He was so strong. He was strong. They had to pull the tour buses up to the precinct and get us out of there because he had the hotel surrounded.
In jail, there was a time where I had to get the fuck out of Boston.
The man who allegedly shot rapper Ray Scott in a funeral procession on Saturday says he acted in self-defense. Guy Scott was ordered held without bail pending a dangerousness hearing. He's charged with shooting his uncle Ray Benzino Scott several times. The suspect appeared in Plymouth District Court this morning. Prosecutors say the shooting resulted from family tensions. Ray Scott tells the Globe he was avoiding his mom's funeral at a Plymouth church because he didn't want any trouble. But somehow he ran into the procession on Saturday heading south on Route 3. Scott was released from the hospital today after suffering wounds to his upper arm and back. Scott's attorney claims the 6 shots were fired into his client's car and he was chased. Scott was taken by a relative to a nearby police station where he was rushed to South Shore Hospital. I'm Mike Bello for the Boston Globe.
Some say the downfall of being in the limelight too long is eventually they'll be able to see the kinks in your armor. With his life put on display on reality TV and essentially put in the internet blender, he would probably go on to be the easiest and the biggest target of the internet's jokes. Now, just what if I told you at one point in time, Raymond Scott or Ray Dog or Benzino was probably one of the most feared and respected people in one of the nation's most dangerous cities.
Scott and his lawyer appeared on the local news the day after the stabbing.
It was crowded, so, there was fists flying and stuff like that. I really didn't, it was dark in there, real dark. I just, left.
He's done very well. He is a part owner of the Source magazine, which is the largest hip-hop magazine in the world.
Paul also identified Anthony Hurston, who was employed by the Source.
I want to send my, definitely regrets for what happened to Paul Pierce and his family. And that comes from me and everybody that is down with, the made men.
I want to make it clear that in this case involving Paul Pierce and in those prior cases, their affiliation with the rap group Made Men made no difference to us.
Without him, I wouldn't be standing here being able to talk to everybody. My family and I want to thank the hospital, all the doctors, nurses.
3 days after being stabbed to within an inch of his heart, Paul Pierce walked out of the New England Medical Center on his own.
I can't wait to get back out on the basketball court, join my Celtic teammates.
24 hours earlier, Boston police issued arrest warrants for 3 men.
A lot of it was simply old-fashioned police work and following leads. Fortunately, some people did come forward, and from there we were able to identify those we believe were responsible for this crime.
I recognize a couple of the photographs.
Paul identified William Ragland. He and another suspect, Trevor Watson, worked security for a local rap group known as Made Men.
September 25th, 2000. Pierce and 2 friends arrived at a Boston nightclub. Minutes later, Pierce was fighting for his life.
it just happened so fast, and I looked up and my clothes were ripped. I had blood coming down my face. That's the first thing I remember, blood coming down my face, and I'm like wiping it, and I'm like, I'm seriously hurt.
Attacked by a group of men, Pierce was stabbed 11 times, one striking 7 inches deep. Covered in blood, his friends rushed him to the hospital.
I was like, you know, asking them, am I gonna live? Am I gonna live?
How close did you come to dying?
It was a miracle because the deadly strike right here, it pierced my diaphragm, pierced my lung. It just pinched the two and stopped short of my heart.
Remarkably, Pierce left the hospital less than a week later.
I can't wait to get back out on the basketball court, join my Celtic teammates, and hopefully a speedy recovery and get out there as soon as possible.
His return was celebrated.
5 months earlier, a member of the group was stabbed during a backstage brawl at a rap concert at the Fleet Center.
They was looking for X. Somebody who looked like X did something to one of their sisters.
Queen Pin or something.
In Boston.
Thought it was Queen Pin.
Or somebody. Somebody who looked like X did something.
Nigga said.
So they was super deep.
We fucking up. If we can't find X, we fucking this whole tour up. Automatically, this nigga goes, what? Goes in the hallway and then it jumps off.
It was a standoff.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. So I went in the, me and Ray was cool. So I went in the hallway, was like, and this is an arena hallway. That shit was packed.
We all went in the hall. Our dressing room went out there to the hallway. We got out there.
Room.
It was 1 million made men with Avirexes that said
"I'm big" and all
something.
That.
Yo, them niggas had batons. You know the ones that you pat down to see if you got guns on you. They was hitting us with those and shit. You know them big metal
black
shits?
and yellow joints.
Black and yellow joints. Yo.
I'm actually chopping it up with Benzino. Me and Ray's chopping up. Ray's
trying
my
to
man.
diffuse it.
That's Ray's a good dude. We fuck with Ray. He's cool. Yeah. So we chopping it up. Ray's stick man right over his shoulder. His ice grill and everything is like he don't care.
He still didn't move.
He didn't move. He didn't care what Ray was saying. He didn't move. He's just like this. I'm asking him, yo.
A small ketchup came from the other
room
side. Service ketchup, look.
Some flew
over.
over.
Sprite came from outside. Then it was like cartoon, like
then they clicked Rockstar. They clicked Rockstar first. They clicked the smartest dude
they
on
clicked
tour.
like a Siglier.
They clicked like a Siglier. They clicked out Nerd Genius. Then they boom.
I'm hearing mad shit in the
Then we like this.
I ain't going out there. I told niggas I ain't going out there. I'm drinking, me and busy drinking and shit. I open the door. This nigga Styles bleeding. Said, I love it. And looking at his face, said, I love it. The blood coming down his face. I said, oh shit. That shit look like West Side Story.
He had the Hitler mustache with the blood with the 2 knives.
But yo, at the time they wasn't past that line. And then somehow we wasn't past their line and shit. But it was crazy. That shit look like.
Yeah, because they started overpowering us on the blows.
They had wild manpower. They had more. We had knives though.
We had hawks.
That's how we
the hawks came out, then it was like, and then it's like a separation
for a minute.
And then I fell, my sneaker was off. I was like half knocked out. I was hyped though. Like I was super hyped. And then we went crazy.
I got in the mix of that bitch.
Then Luch, we put some work in that day.
He kind of came in like a wrestler coming down the aisle to the middle of the fight.
He came in like, yeah, boom, boom, boom. One hit quitters.
The niggas put us in the same bullpen.
Yeah, then we was in the bullpen.
In Boston.
And then I kept hearing my name. And then I was like usual suspects though. I said I was bleeding. I hit the floor, I ain't see nothing. Left it at that. But then I was crazy because they said, y'all should have killed Ray.
Yeah.
That's what the police
told us we should have killed Ray.
Nobody killed Ray Benzino?
Nobody killed Ray? Y'all should have killed
Ray.
Ray.
They was on that.
That was fucking crazy.
He was so strong. He was strong. They had to pull the tour buses up to the precinct and get us out of there because he had the hotel surrounded.
Wow. 2 members have been murdered over the group's 15-year history. Founder Ray Scott has had several brushes with Boston police.
if they don't have any clues, whatever, it's just easy to say made men, or it's easy for somebody to say made men.
So you're tied to the gruesome stabbing of the city's best basketball player, a violent melee that could be described as a riot at the arena where that beloved player plays home games, where 6 more people ended up getting stabbed. Not to mention, your father, Edward Snops DeJesus, was allegedly a soldier at minimum for the city's most reputed gangster and maybe snitch ever, Whitey Bulger. After a while, them people just get tired of hearing your name. And when you add the other shit besides the stuff I mentioned, eventually, instead of being a made man in the city of Boston, Benzino will become a marked man.
The leader of Boston rap group Made Men is out of jail and speaking out. Ray Scott claims once again that he is a victim of racial profiling.
Mr. Scott, with 2 hands shoved, alleged victim. He also identified himself as a member of the gang. It stated that Raymond Scott said to you that he was a member of a gang. Confessing to myself.
I want people to stand up and say they have no problem with people rapping about killing cops.
We're not saying kill police, we never say kill police.
That's the one they changed it again.
Yo, run in your mouth, I have you with a gun in your mouth, 2 in your throat. Look now, your son is in doubt, whether or not he should think of pulling his Glock. Matter of fact, I got a gun to his back. Squeeze 3, turn him around.
Shit, D-Y, the whole shit.
Get up for the new year with 8 pounds of heavy metal like a rock star. Twin Berettas, I hold vendettas, positions locked down. I'm with the locks now, you better clear your block now.
I think after that, and then, the Paul Pierce thing. Like that was like right after each other where he had got stabbed.
While sources say Pierce's attacker is an associate of Made Men, the rap group is denying any involvement in the stabbing.
And again, Made Men.
Made Men is a rap group based here in Boston. They have roots that go back to the Dorchester section of the city. They were implicated last April in violence that broke out at a rap concert at the Fleet Center, and they denied then and they deny now any involvement in that incident.
I mean, I'm a recording artist and I can't afford to be close to situations like that. I have a lot of things going for myself.
This brother of a Celtic said it's somebody that was Made Men, and that's about all that the police knew and have run with that story.
This connection is coming from some statements made by some witnesses. It's just part of a much larger investigation.
Like they showing everybody my face, they bring my face to him, and I'm in the newspaper, things in the newspaper, they still show him Beyond the Glory. On Fox, they still showing me. So it was a time where I had to get the fuck out of Boston. So I was saying.
When they want to get you, they're going to pull out all the stops. And even hundreds of miles away, starring on a reality show, guess whose name would come up when they would indict 48 members of Boston's largest and possibly most dangerous gang?
You was facing 15 years. Oh.
I mean, I was facing life from when I first got indicted. Shit. From that one right there, that was pretty fucked. I was facing like the RICO statute. You know what I'm saying? I'd go and they'd follow all around, just like you see on the movies. Like it was 2 murders, extortion, money laundering. It's crazy.
Dozens of members belonging to Boston's largest and most powerful gang have been arrested. Federal authorities said today members and associates of the Columbia Point Dogs were indicted on drug and gun charges. They say the gang started operating out of the Columbia Point housing project in the Dorchester section of Boston in the 1980s.
This operation didn't just dismantle a large-scale drug trafficking network. It focused on individuals who gang prosecutors believe are responsible for much violence in our city.
I couldn't see where Benzino was named or even mentioned in a massive gang indictment, but his close relationship with somebody that was Willie Scodo Berry, I'm sure, had the people asking questions.
That's my brother, you know what I'm saying? Sko, my brother. You know, we from the same hood, Four Corners in Boston, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, he a little younger than me, but Sko like an older nigga, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? He got that moral code about him.
Hey, y'all can follow me, Skodo80 on Instagram, Skodo80 on Twitter, Facebook, you know, and just Google me, Skodo. You'll follow a lot of the movement right now. What up, Z? I got you on air right now, Z. What's poppin'?
What's poppin' with you, bro?
Yeah, we on air right now. So with you?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm over here. I got Main T. He's on the radio spin right.